Hey, what is up, guys? Lips here, everyone's favorite gaming sex icon. I'm just joking. Anyway, today, guys, we're going to be talking about Call of Duty World War II. The new Call of Duty beta was out a couple weeks ago, and I just want to give you guys my brief and just overall summary of how the game, what I thought about the beta. More importantly, what I thought about the maps, what I thought about the guns, what I thought about just the overall beta experience in general. So you know what? Let's get right into it. So I believe the first beta, which was the first one on the PS4 a couple weeks ago, we were given 3 maps to play on. This is excluding the war game mode, so I will talk about that a little bit later. So basically, like for TDM and Dom, I believe we had Ardennes Forest, we had Gibraltar, Gibraltar, that's what it was. And Point Zioc, which is a French map. So those are the 3 maps we had. Now let's go with the forest map, which was the snowy level. So I'm going to talk about the map in general. So basically, what I thought about the map in general is I thought it was a pretty good map, but I found that the pacing of the map was a little bit weird. There was some parts of the map which I found that were just completely not used at all. People just didn't care about them. Also, there's a left side by the cabin. I don't know if you guys remember that part, but if you start on, not the left side, well, it's obviously, you know, depends which side you start on, but if you start on the church side, and you go on the left side, there's the bunker, and then right after the bunker, there's a little shack, and there's a little trench, and then there's an MG in the bunker and by the shack. I found that placement to be a little bit weird for the MG. I found it to be a real pain in the ass if someone's occupying the MG. It can make it a little bit of a weird advantage for people. It could be, I don't know, it's a strange map layout. I found that there was too many, with that map in general, I found that there was too many, like, lanes of sight to worry about. It is kind of like a classical Call of Duty 3 lanes type of layout, but I found that it was weird to navigate around the map efficiently and well. Guns were all over the place. The gun was more of a mix between assault rifle and submachine gun dominant map. Snipers could be used on the map, but there was so much crap in the way. There was only a couple lines of sight where you had like a decent amount of range to look by, and those you were usually occupied. Like somebody running like something like an M1 Garand or an STG 44 would probably be better for this map. Even like a Type 100 wouldn't be so bad. But I found using probably the M1 Garand on this map was probably one of the more effective weapons. If you hung around the church a little bit more, I found the submachine guns were probably a better choice if that's what you kind of wanted to do. In terms of sniping, it's hit or miss for that map unless you're very, very good. Usually you can't really take full advantage of the map. So that's what I thought for that map in particular. I thought it played pretty well, but I did find it not really that great of a map. It was kind of a bleh kind of map. It's medium-sized. But yeah. So let's move over to Point Zioc, because I think that one was one of them that you guys, or that everyone played a lot of. This was more of a close quarters map, so basically there were a lot of trenches everywhere. Which made it for a lot of close quarters stuff for sure. Now there was like no man's land part, which is basically whenever you go out of the trenches and you're like crossing between trenches. That's called no man's land. There was a part where there was like a no man's land area, which was kind of cool. And there was some like weird bunker, like the elevations were really weird. You had like some that were like not level to each other. One of them was like 1.5 times higher than the other. Some weird open layouts. Overall, I actually kind of like this map. There is clearly one spot in the map, though, where if you can take advantage of that map, because it's a very high traffic area, usually you can do pretty well and you can get a lot of kills. You guys must know which one I'm talking about. There's the hay shack, and then you go down 2 flights of stairs, and then you go into a bunker, which is there's a 3 entrance bunker, which overlooks most of the map and overlooks no man's land, and the opposite bunker that's on the other side where you can snipe people. I found that to be probably the most effective spot for this map. If you took advantage of that map and you can control that area, you could usually do really well. It's a very high traffic area, like I said. Shotguns are pretty effective in this map if you stay around in the trenches, and especially around that bunker area that I was talking about. The Type 100 and the PPSH, probably the best guns for this map, at least from what I've seen right now. I know later on in the second run of the beta, I didn't actually have a chance to really play that much of the second run. There was, I think they added the Thompson. As far as I'm concerned, the Thompson's probably one of the best weapons right now. The Type 100 is really good too. The PPSH is really good, but I think if I were to pick one, the Type 100 would be better than the PPSH. Yeah, I mean, as far as that map, Sniper is not very useful in this map. You have to be very well skilled in order to do well. Like kind of Ardennes Forest, but Ardennes Forest is a little bit more lenient for that. Now we're going to talk about Gibraltar, which is the Mediterranean Sea one, which has like all those limestone rocks and everything. I actually kind of like that map, but I found that it just, the pacing was off in that map. There was just too much. There was too many routes. There was too many levels. I find that whenever maps have too many elevations, it kind of makes it really annoying. You either have like super good advantage or you have a terrible advantage. I found that if you spawned, I believe it was on the elevated side, which is like, you know, by the mountain trenches and everything, like the mountain trenches, yeah, they go out. I found that was probably the better side of the map. If you were lucky to spawn on there, especially for domination. If you start on domination on that side, you definitely have an advantage. The guns in this map, it's kind of hit or miss. You can use snipers in that map. You can use submachine guns. You can use assault rifles. I personally use a lot of assault rifles in that map because I found there's a lot more longer lanes of sight, which makes it way more useful. Submachine guns can be used, but I found that assault rifles were better. Like the STG-44 in general, the other assault rifles I didn't find were very good. They were just kind of bleh. And light machine guns, man, the light machine guns were way underpowered. They needed buff for sure, especially with how they move. And one of them takes forever to aim down sight. That gun, those guns definitely need a buff of some sort. There's definitely light machine guns don't have their place in this game. It's an assault rifle and submachine gun game, but I think it's gonna be a purely submachine gun game, kind of like World at War whenever the MP40 dominated. I guess I'm trying to think more things about the map in general. The shotguns, like the flamethrower shotguns, were really cool. Those may need a bit of a nerf, maybe just a little bit of a nerf. But the shotgun shells in general, like the shotguns in general, need a buff. They definitely need a buff. I find shotguns definitely need a buff. You get a lot of hit markers. The range is a little bit too short. I think if they bumped it up maybe another half time, like another 1.5 times more, it might be a little bit better. Especially the double barrel. I always caught myself with the double barrel usually having to shoot both rounds. And especially like, you know, in World at War, that was sometimes the case. But at least in World at War, you could run sleight of hand, and then that would kind of cancel it out. And also the reload time for the double barrel wasn't too bad without sleight of hand in World at War, but in this game, the reload time for the double barrel is way too long. They should either buff it or they should reduce the reload time, because the double barrel is definitely slacking in this game. It's not the beast that it is. Although I can't say I haven't tried the rifling. The advanced rifling or something on the shotgun, so I don't know how it shoots with that, but I do think, based on my experience without it, they definitely need a little bit of a buff. The incendiary rounds, they need a bit of a nerf, just a little bit though. Let me think. Other guns. Sniper was good. It was very good. Very good sniper. No issues there. Submachine guns were all pretty good. I think it was the German one, the Waft or something. No, I can't remember what it was. Was it the WAF? I can't remember if that was what it was called, but I found that gun not to be that good. I thought it was eh. The grease gun isn't that good either. I mean, it's consistent, but it's not very good. A little bit weak. Yeah, Type 100, PPSH, dominant guns in the game, for sure. Yeah, I mean, that's my outlook on the maps, really. You taking control of the maps. I find Gibraltar is hit or miss. You can either have a lot of fun, or it could be a real pain in the ass, especially with the elevations, especially a B flag. Oh man, B flag is a pain in the ass to get in that game, in that map. Oh, real pain in the ass. It's between like, it's in the bottom level between the two towers, and holy shit, is it hard. You really need teamwork in order to really take advantage of that. What else should we talk about? Now there is the war mode, right? Now the war mode is interesting. It's new. I don't know about you guys, but I found it to be... it needs some work. It needs some work. I can see the potential, but I found that the two sides in which you spawn is way too... It's way too two-dimensional. The spawning system is way too two-dimensional in the war game zone, in the war mode. I don't understand why they didn't bring back the actual war mode in World at War. Like, that was an amazing game mode. I don't know why they didn't bring that back. That was great. That was one of the favorites. I don't understand why they do that. They took the same name, but they made a new mode with it, and I'm not sure if I like it. Spawning system's all weird in the war mode. It can be fun, especially if you have people that play the objective. If you have a lot of people that play the objective for that game mode, it could be a lot of fun. But I found it was just way too two-dimensional. Like, people could camp. It really, the game mode really, it really promotes camping. And I'm not saying, like, there's a difference between camping and holding position down, obviously. But some people just literally just sit in the corner at the other end of the map, and they just sit there and they wait for one guy to come by and just shoot him. That's an issue for that game mode, especially. Definitely very highly teamwork mode. I can see how it would be a lot of fun, but it needs some work. The spawning system needs some work. The whole zone system needs some work. Some of the objectives need work. I found that building the bridge is a real freaking pain in the ass, especially if you had no one that wanted to play the objective. Nearly impossible. And I think a lot of people just want to run around and kill people. And for that game mode, it's definitely not the sort of game mode to play. So they definitely need to change a couple things in order to make it so that people don't play in that sort of style. But I really don't know how you could do that. I don't know. Now, for overall, I think the beta was good. The game looks pretty good. I prefer it, obviously, over Infinite Warfare any day of the week. See, I didn't like Black Ops 3 either. I don't know what they did with Black Ops 3. Black Ops 3 is just stupid now. I don't like the exosuit mechanic at all. I think it's just a real annoyance. This game plays well. It is reasonably fast-paced, reasonably SA, but I think the pacing was pretty good. The spawns were pretty good. There were some times where it was kind of stupid. There's some hit detection issues as well. That needs to be fixed. But overall, the spawning system is not bad. Better than Modern Warfare Remastered. They really fucked up the spawns in that game. I don't know what they did. But the original does not spawn people like that at all. It's almost random in Modern Warfare Remastered, and it ruins the flow. It doesn't make me want to play it that much anymore because of that particular reason. I get people that spawn behind me all the time. I get spawn on top of people. I don't know. They really messed up. Like I said, overall, World War II beta pretty good. I think I will probably get the game. It did get a little bit boring after a while. It got a little bit bland. I know a lot of people were saying that, but I think with more maps and more guns, we've only given a little bit of the taste of the game, so I think it'll be better. Zombies looks really cool. I think it'll be awesome. It might be the darkest zombie series yet. I'm looking forward to that. So I guess that's kind of like a really, you know, like a brief outlook on the beta, and I can go more in depth as to my issues with the game at some point. But I just want to keep this kind of just a really quick summary of the points and the things that kind of struck me as the most obvious that's going on in the game right now. So I want to say thank you for watching, guys. I'm going to be sprinkling some of these Call of Duty videos every now and again over the regular videos. If you guys don't make it to here, I'm gonna make a video on this anyway. It's gonna be like 2 to 3 let's plays, like kind of like Layers of Fear and Feed to Grow all week, and then there'll be some random videos like this on top. That way you guys get a little bit more content, and also I can put out a little bit more content without having to spend, you know, way too much time, especially I have school and stuff, and I work during school. So it kind of gives you guys a little bit of a mix of different types of content, because I know there's some Call of Duty people on my channel, and there's some more, you know, casual Let's Player watchers on my channel. So thanks for watching, guys. Have a good day, and hopefully you guys enjoyed your Labor Day weekend if you're in Canada. I don't know if that's the same thing in the States. I don't know if they have it in the States, or your Labor Day. Yeah, anyway. Anyway, I'm going on off tangent now. Anyways, guys, have a good day. I'm out. Have a good day. Again, I'm saying it way too many times. I'm out. Peace.